Welcome to Third Wheel Podcast.
At night.
I'm
I
Darci.
hesitated because I was going to go ahead. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm Caleb. I hesitated because I was about to speak. As my mouth was open, she just, stole it from me. It's messed up.
Did you notice I scoot in real up and close and personal
Yeah,
do it?
you don't do that typically, so you knew exactly what you were doing to me. I'm hurt. All right, I think we found a wealth of content using this little Facebook thing. I don't know, what do you think?
I love it.
Yeah, I'm not bored with it yet.
Yeah.
So, and it's been 3 episodes so far.
Right.
So I say we keep going. I say we truck along. All right. We haven't even aired.
Should I preface it like I did the last one in case it's somebody's first time listening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good idea.
So, once again, as a preface, if you've been here before, you already know what's going on. If you haven't, I am married, and I am very happily married
Not
with
to
my
me.
husband, Paul.
Okay, if you didn't know that.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one.
Every episode, I hate you more and more.
So
We should put together an intro. I am happily married. I commit. Not to me. Correct.
And so, I have a very extensive past. My husband does not. Sometimes that kind of conflicts a little bit. And I want advice from another couple that's married, but also Christian. But everyone that I know is I don't know how else to explain it besides this, goody two-shoes Christians.
Yeah.
Never done anything their whole life. We're virgins up until marriage. Didn't even kiss their significant other until the wedding day. And
They
so,
pray before they're intimate together.
Right.
They hold hands and say amen.
Yeah.
And then they're,
Yeah. And so I came across this marriage, Christian marriage and advice group. And I was like, you know what? That'd be great. Find some people maybe with a similar story to ours or something. Not that anything was even wrong. I was just, curious and wanted to relate with more people. And I came across some really feral things. So I joined a bunch of them, and now we're going to have limitless content.
for the rest of our lives. I hope these don't get repetitive at some point. You know what I mean? Some people come into some messed up situations oh, we did an episode on that already.
Yeah.
Oh, your husband left you.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you're not sure?
It's all over the place, man. There's some stories I never would have, not telling someone you're married for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's not going to get repeated. You know what I mean? That was insane.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
It's not confirmed that guy was already married to somebody, but, someone comes in with that story, oh, my husband was married to someone else. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll even get some updates.
No, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. We
If
can,
you're-
circle back around and be update to, episode whatever.
Well, since these were anonymous, there's no way to verify whether someone's not just trolling, be like, oh my gosh, update, and then...
I feel like we can tell fairly okay when they're trolling.
I guess. We'll only know if we get a lot of subscribers and people try it. So we'll see. We'll know if we're being scammed or not. But last episode, I had to edit that section out. We were reading a story that was just too off the walls to be true. There was just no way. And it was full of errors. So,
Yeah.
If you're going to try and trick us, y'all need to get creative. And I don't mean so creative to where it's like you're flipping a coin every time, So, all right. With that out the way, let's hop right to it. This comes from another anonymous member. So, anonymous, I always say anon. Darci says anani.
No, I say Nani.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. All right.
Sounds like an
Anon.
actual name.
Oh, Anon, you and your wonderful stories are limitless. You've been through a whole life, several lifetimes. I feel for you in your divorce and your husband who is also married to someone else. So, all right, Anon, here we go. Hello, brothers and sisters in Christ. Oh, thank you. I'm already really in.
I hate when people talk like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it's no wonder you're in this conundrum.
It's so surface level to me.
Yeah, and you're wondering why your husband
Not
left you.
genuine or ingenuine. I don't know. Maybe
Right.
people really do talk like that, but I feel like they don't. I feel
don't
like
know.
nobody talks like that on a daily
Yeah, because
basis.
I know people personally that start off in a chat with that, hello, brothers in Christ, and then we talk to them in person. They're not like that at all.
Right.
So, yeah, disingenuine right out the gate. I already
Yeah.
don't feel for you. Whatever I'm about to read, no wonder this happened to you.
Oh my god! You haven't even read the post yet. What if it's really bad?
It's true. All right, Anon.
That's also another disclaimer is...
we tend to laugh before we finish the story. So if we get to the bottom and we're both like jaw dropped at the end, and up until then we're laughing.
Well, that and like we do, like it's just as like a preface, there's a lot of these stories where like the actual thing they're reaching out for help about isn't funny. And we do discuss that and give genuine advice and just kind of break it down. But it's the comments
They're so bad.
that just really get out of hand.
And I start laughing.
Yeah. Like, and also like I'm a person that jokes about my own life traumas. And so I just tend to do that.
And I try to match her level, but it doesn't always work out that way, you know. But, that's cool. All right, here we go. Again, hello, brothers and sisters in Christ, you fake Anon member. A dear friend has come to MW, I think he meant to say me, with a conundrum. Okay, so he's able to say hello, brothers and sisters in Christ, because it's not actually happening to Anon. It's for a friend.
The anonymous poster is posting anonymously for an anonymous person. There's a lot of Anons going on here.
I definitely believe you, Anon. Wink. This is definitely not you. I'm seeking wisdom from fellow believers with Christ first and government second. Oh, I'm already loving this. My friend recently confided in me. They are Lutheran. All right, well, that's the first red flag, Anon. You been to a Lutheran church, Darci?
No.
They suck. I'm sorry. I've been to a couple, and they're not that good. So when we were kids, we used to go to some Lutheran vacation Bible schools. And I had fun with the kids there, so I was told, Mom, can we go to that church and, I can see them again? And we went. By golly, she took me to show me how bad it was. All they do is they read out of a book, and I don't mean like from the Bible. I mean from another different man-made book, and they recite from it. So the guy's basically leading the choir of people, the congregation, reading out of the book. It's pretty boring.
Interesting.
I'm sure there's a lot more better Lutheran churches out there that are more fun.
Like maybe you just went to a bad one type of thing.
Where it's just
a one-off.
all old people reciting from a book. But I asked my mom, she's like, that's a Lutheran church for you. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm non-denominational. Darci, are you non-denominational?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you consider yourself Baptist.
No.
A good friend of mine's Catholic, and he's really cool. He's a good friend of mine.
Sometimes I feel like I'm Pentecostal leaning
Me
because
too,
of the church.
Yeah. And
we go to.
Yeah, the church we go to, definitely. Pentecostal.
Right.
So.
I mean, they say they're not denominational, but I think they're heavily like Pentecostal leaning.
Yeah.
But like I enjoy that.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with you. So. All right. Anon continues to say. So they're Lutheran. So he confided in me that they're Lutheran. So it was like a big secret. Hey, buddy, I'm Lutheran. All right. Yeah, I'm calling the police.
That's a funny way to put that.
Yeah. My friend was hosting a family in their home for a while, a little over a year, to help them get back on their feet.
Okay.
Once the family moved out, she discovered a camera in their bathroom that the family was using and found video footage on her husband's computer of the wife of that family in the nude, along with other clips of her on the computer.
Kind of worded weird.
It is worded weird.
Yeah. You might just have to
He accidentally duplicated wife of that family. So he said wife of the family, nudes of her on the computer of the wife of that family in the nude, along with other clips of her on the toilet. Okay. And the family in and out of the frame, including children for bath time. I haven't seen the video, so I don't have first-hand knowledge. I would hope not, Anon, you perv. Anon, you better not have seen those.
Right.
This is quite a conundrum, friend, who I won't mention and post on Facebook. But just to see how crazy it is, let me see the footage, too.
Right.
It verifies its authenticity. I haven't seen the video, so I don't have first-hand knowledge. But she said it's seen the videos saved to the computer, primarily focused on the wife of the family they were hosting. God. I don't know. I'm laughing at this one, too. It's pretty gross. This has given my friend deep sorrow. Yeah. I really hate Anon right now. This word is so stupid. Yeah. So, my friend has a conundrum. There's no there's nothing to empathize with here. It's just like, you can tell this is a very fake spiritual person. This has given my friend deep sorrow. She cried to me, not knowing how to feel or even address the situation. This felt worse than porn to her because it was more invasive in a person she knows.
Duh.
1 billion%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no kidding. Like, it's like, dude, I'd rather. I mean, if I had a preference on what I'd rather walk
Right.
in on a significant other working, you know. How should a God-fearing and husband-honoring wife handle this situation? Yeah.
There's no honor for that husband.
I definitely believe you, Anon. What are the appropriate steps to do in this situation? They're so wordy. I hate this anonymous user.
Yeah.
The invasion, like, you could dumb it down.
Right.
And it would just be as effective.
Yeah.
But you can clearly tell. So I believe you when you say you're writing this for someone else, because you're putting in all these unnecessary details.
Yeah.
There's no empathy on your end.
Right.
And I don't know why. This is a problem with churches in general, people that go to church in general. And this is coming from a Christian, non-denominational, Pentecostal leading, who goes to church, is active in church full time.
I'm very hard on Christians and churches.
I'm very hard on them too. I'm with you. I'm so glad we're in agreement on that. You're never gonna see me on here saying, "Here's some good marriage advice. If she takes you away from your relationship with God, divorce her."
Right.
You know, that's not what you're gonna get from me. You're gonna get some tough love.
Oh yeah.
All right. So this Anon, this version of Anon incarnate, I don't like you.
Anon. For the double anonymous.
Okay. I feel like he answers his own question with this next sentence. This invasion of privacy is definitely illegal, and I'm sure the other party would be unsettled if they found out what her husband was doing.
You think so?
No, I think they'd be totally fine with it. All right, Anon, you said it yourself. I feel like this is very illegal, so what are you supposed to do? Call the police, you dummy.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel at a loss myself, and so I would post anonymously for others' guidance and prayer over her household as well as our own. This feels too great for me to give advice on. Thank you for your reading and consideration. God bless. Anon? The hell's wrong with you? Call the police. What do you think?
There is an edit to add. Okay. So it says, please.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Anon, why are you asking for advice on whether or not to call the police?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is a problem with Christians. They have a tendency to cover stuff up.
Yeah.
And it really pisses me off. It's ridiculous.
Well, and the way he was like, how does she honor her husband? There is no honor for him.
No. Zero.
Like, you know, everybody wants to pull this Bible verse of it's like, oh, well, women honor your husbands. And it's like, yeah, that's what the ideal that your husband is loving you properly.
Yep.
This isn't coming from honor him in every situation. Like, he's a perv. He's a pedo.
Yeah. Because, like, it's not, like, let's just assume he's just focusing on the wife of the other family.
Doesn't care about the kid, the wife.
Let's just assume that. Yeah, let's just assume he's...
Yeah.
But, okay, what if he is, though? He's taking pictures of the kid's bath time. He's watching the husband take a dump.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, there's so many layers to this.
Right.
It's disgusting.
He's
actual disgusting.
very, very pervy.
Yes.
And, like, it's one thing to, like, fantasize about something like this or watch porn of something like this, but to take it into your own hands and install a video camera into your bathroom for another couple that is living with you.
Yeah. They're trusting you to house them.
Save them to your computer. Like, you're not even just watching this in real time.
Right.
You're saving it to your computer. Like, there's so much stuff that just makes it worse and worse with every sentence.
And think about, like, what else is he doing with it? Yeah, he's probably doing it for himself, but what else?
Right.
Where's he posting it?
Yeah.
You know, he's downloading it. Where's it going?
Is he on the dark web with the live video chat for any pervy pedo to come watch too?
Yeah.
You know, like,
if your house is big enough to where you can house two families, maybe consider where you got the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I'm being honest with you here.
I know we're jumping a little bit to some conclusions, but I feel like reasonably so.
Oh yeah, there's
a
lot here. Okay, so Anon, you're sitting here. I feel like this is very illegal. Oh, really?
You feel like it's very illegal, or like it is very illegal?
Darci, I know we talked a few episodes ago about, like, you know, would you call the police on me if, in this case, I would 1,000,000,000% call the police.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
I said as long as it doesn't involve sex. This to me involves sex.
Yeah. So if anybody close to me was like, hey, I just found so-and-so recording people without their consent, someone else's wife, I'd be like, okay, well, did you dial... My first question is, did you dial 911?
Right.
Well, no. Okay, what are you doing, stupid?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I have no sympathy here for you.
Yeah, no. My question was if you'd call the cops if I accidentally killed somebody in a hit and run.
Okay.
A little different,
What
okay?
if you accidentally installed a camera into your bathroom when you were...
Like I just slipped and fell and it installed it.
Oh,
yeah.
You accidentally plugged it in.
Yeah, like,
wired
would
it
you?
to your computer. I can see accidents happen. Okay, turn it off, Darci. That's bad. All right, so initial thoughts. What should I do? Well, I think you should quit posting about it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think you
This
should.
is a very serious problem.
Hang up. If you had called a hotline for advice, they would have said, well, I encourage you to hang up, dial 911. And they can't say this, but I can because it's my show. You idiot.
Yeah.
Called 911.
Right.
There's a big problem. Maybe it's not just a church thing, but there's a big problem with like people just trying to cover stuff up or use the excuse of, well, let me pray about it.
Right,
or can I post it anonymously?
What's the honorable thing to do here?
There is none because this guy's not honoring his friend's wife. He's not honoring that family. He's not honoring his wife.
Right.
And he's not honoring himself. He's not honoring his marriage.
Yeah.
There is nothing. And
there's nothing to honor here.
Nothing. Zero. So I don't know what you're doing, Anon. I think you should have called the police.
Right.
So you had an edit, an update?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you read that?
So, update. Edit to add. Police will obviously be involved in the situation. I don't know why he's saying that, like he made it very obvious.
Yeah.
It's a question of how should a loving wife go through with this with her husband and head of the household who she loves? Should she confront him and ask him to turn himself in? Should she consider her marriage toast and turn him in against him? How does a wife... Hang on, it's almost over. How... You're itching over there. How does a wife wisely, in quotes, betray her husband who betrayed her? What's a good biblical answer to this?
Let me see that. We're going to have to break this down again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. This is what really got me going. This boiled my blood. He says, Anon, I'm assuming you're a guy. Because you talk like
it sounds like it, yeah.
You talk like a friend of mine who I also have problems with. Okay.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, probably. Police will obviously be involved. But then you say, should she confront him and ask him to turn himself in?
Right.
So are police going to be involved or aren't they?
Right.
So you said...
he says police are going to be involved. So I think what he's asking right here is they're going to be involved regardless, but should she at least give him the chance to turn himself in?
I don't believe you. I mean, I know what you're...
Right.
You're playing devil's advocate to
I'm
my
trying
brain
to.
who wants to punch this guy in the face.
Right.
Okay. But this says a day ago, and he's like, edit. So the only reason he'd want to edit is because everyone's overwhelmingly being like, dude, call the police.
Yeah.
He's like, edit. Obviously, instead of calling the police, he takes the time to edit this and goes, edit to add. Okay, that also annoys me too. Again, too many words. You could just say edit.
Yeah.
You don't have to say edit to add. We know what you're doing, stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Police will obviously be involved. It's just a question of how should a loving wife go through this with her husband and head of the household. Right. Again, you're extending. I know we're supposed to love our enemies, and I know it's somebody's husband. I get that, but
he's obviously not the head of household, though. Like biblically, he's supposed to be. But
on paper, he is.
Yeah,
but he's such a obvious scumbag. Okay?
Right,
and it's really annoying me. Should she confront him and ask him to turn himself in? Okay, so contradicting yourself. Police are obviously going to be involved, but should she confront him and ask
police are obviously going to be involved, but they're not involved yet.
No, and again, one day ago, you're wasting your time with the words.
Well, even when I tried to find it so that we could look through more comments, I couldn't find it.
So the post is gone?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so again, you wasted time putting edit to add. Okay, and then another big old brick of paragraph.
Yeah.
And so obviously everyone's hating on you, downvote. If there was a downvote button, I'm sure that's what was probably going on. And you just decided, okay, I'm an idiot. I should call the police. Or you decided well, this isn't going to help. I'm going to find somebody who's going to tell me what I want to hear.
Yeah.
All right? And I have friends like that too. Put that in air quotes.
Some real Christian brothers and sisters in Christ.
How does a wife I missed this when you read it. How does a wife wisely betray, in air quotes, her husband who betrayed her? what's a good biblical answer to this? There is none. Okay, cameras weren't invented when the Bible was made. Anon. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's like, which I won't go too far down this rabbit trail because I'm sure we'll come across this doing these. But it's like whenever somebody was asking about toys involved in marriage, and was asking. Somebody was like, well, look at what the Bible has to say. And it's like, there weren't electronics back then. That's right. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna talk about that. You can't pull up a scripture. You can pull up some things that might make it seem like it would be acceptable or would not be, but it's not going to specifically say, thou shalt not use vibrator beneath the sheetiths, you know, like.
That's the thing. Like, what's a good biblical, like, there isn't a none. Call the police.
Right.
When someone gives you an outcry, I know the outcry witness or the outcry thing doesn't necessarily apply to this situation. It has to do more so with victims. When someone tells you something's illegal going on, you call the police. You don't sit here and like, well, let me look in Ephesians real quick to see what I need to do next. Yeah. When there's an act of crime going on, you don't sit here and be stupid and be like, edit to add. That really annoys me. Like, okay, again, you obviously overthink things, but you also are too dumb to have the wisdom for yourself to realize, hey, I need to take some action because nobody else is.
Yeah. Isn't that so wild? Like, this is a Christian marriage Facebook group. Mm-hmm. And, like, to see the kind... I mean, obviously, I've had my experience of, air quotes, Christians in my lifetime. I've had plenty of pastors come on to me inappropriately and stuff like that. And so obviously like I've had some real world experience where I know this happens, but it's so crazy to me that like somebody will outwardly go on a Facebook group and that like this is a massive problem. Yeah. You know?
The cover-ups, well, you know, obviously we're going to call the police, but what else can we do?
Right.
You know, it's just like, no,
Is there a way to go around this? Like, if he feels convicted, if he, you know, prays the right prayer, can we move past? No. And you can't.
You can't. Thank you. There's no good way. I'm upset. I'm sorry. Yeah. It drives me insane how dumb people are. And, you know.
Well, especially being a cop yourself, you know, it's like. Yeah. You know, you're looking at these people like, what the hell?
I've experienced child abuse when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've seen domestic violence. I've seen women that go back to abusive husbands, actual abusive husbands. Okay. I know what real abuse is because I've been in those types of situations. I grew up in those situations. Darcy's been in some interesting relationships as well. So, to the comments, Anon reaches out to once again clarify. Thank you, everyone, for your responses. The police will be involved. Thank you for saying that again. So instead of... Okay, he says the police will be involved. So again...
They're not yet, still.
Again, he has not called the police. Okay. She's more asking, what's this mean for her marriage, her family? It's over. I don't know how to spell this out for you, Anon. Right. It's over. Okay? You send this guy to jail. What's he going to do as soon as he gets out again?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, like, what's another family that needs a place to stay?
Right.
You meet this guy. He seems really nice. Yeah. Okay. You're not going to run a background check on him. And, you know, he's going to do the same thing again. Jail doesn't take away someone's weird urges or weird fantasies.
Well, and the thing, too, that just popped in my head is, like, he didn't even put this in the wife and husband's, like, bedroom where the kids wouldn't be involved.
Sure. Yeah.
It was the public bathroom. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like there was so many other places where he could have, and not that this would even necessarily be that much better, but there was so many other places he could have put that camera where it would have only shown the wife and not the kids or random other people coming over.
Yep.
Like, and so. Because at first I was at least trying to give some benefit of the doubt. Like, well, she did say it was mostly the wife and that was what she found on the computer. But I'm like, but there would have been so many other places to see the wife other than where the kids would also be involved.
Yeah. Maybe not so many other places, but like there's...
At least one or two.
Their bedroom.
Right.
Anyway. Maybe he wasn't thinking that hard. Okay. All
Or
right.
he was thinking hard.
Yeah, just
but
wrong head.
Yeah.
That's not all Anon says in this comments, okay? So, she's more asking, read that part, what's this mean for her marriage or family? And I already gave my response. It's over, okay? Quit trying to save it. Quit trying to salvage this for somebody else. This is a messed up situation. Anon, call the police. Hang up the phone. Get off Facebook. Call the police. Is there a right way to do this that doesn't damage the family order? What does that even mean? What are you trying to say, Anon?
Is he trying to ask if there's a way for them to work through this without involving the police?
Without probably telling the family?
Yeah, and without telling that other family?
Yeah.
Like, right. Is he asking, is there a way to hide this so that they can move past this?
Right.
And
just say that, Anon.
Right.
Okay, you don't have to beat around the bush. We know you're an idiot. We know you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And we know you're not going to call the police.
Right.
Okay, because this is the third time you put in there, edit. This one says 15 hours ago. You're not going to call the police. We get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Just say that. And the last thing, does she talk to him first? No, because he's going to do everything he can to cover it up.
Oh yeah.
So
he's going to guilt trip. He's going to gaslight.
Or
he's
he'll
going to find
delete
every
evidence.
excuse. He'll delete evidence. And who knows? Like if he's going to that length, maybe he'll turn violent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he's already crossed so many lines that even messed up people don't cross.
Right.
Like you go to prison and people are like, you messed with kids?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like there's lines even the most messed up people don't cross. And he has already crossed that.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
And so who's to tell if he turns violent, if he, if this is one of those, what's his name? Chris something, where he like murdered his wife and kids and hid them in the oil tub things. And you know what I'm talking about? Like at this point, there's no telling. Like, no, you don't confront him. You don't give him the chance to turn himself in. You don't do any of that.
Because he's not going to.
Yeah.
And in fact, he's probably, again, like you say, he's going to dig the hole deeper to cover up what he's doing.
The second you confront him, he's just going to be like scared of getting caught rather than sorry for what he did.
Correct. So
if he was sorry, like it.
Anon, I want you to find now, Anon, if you're going to listen to this, please find me one verse that justifies not calling the police and getting other people involved that are out of your hands. Because we're seeing how you're flubbing this up when it's in your hands. Okay. All right. Stephanie responds to Anon. Maybe separation and mediation until the situation is over to protect herself and the children. This may be his rock bottom, and she may be able to help him out of it.
You can save him.
Yeah.
You can fix him.
Stephanie, I appreciate your input, and you're right. You can save this marriage. We, not you, we, as a collective, can save this marriage. If
that was the part that killed me.
Yeah.
Like, there was other comments. That's why I was trying to find the initial post. But like I said, I think he deleted it. But there was... Yeah, there was other comments and stuff. But that one was the one that really got me, where she was like, you can fix him.
Yeah.
All you need to do is take a break, take a step back.
This is a woman. This is another... Like, I know Anon's a guy. I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
He's a guy who's never been married, probably never had a girlfriend, and he's 57. And it's like, well,
he's an elder in the church.
Yeah, and I can tell you why he's never been married, okay? Because he's a freak. But, okay. Stephanie, this is a symptom of a larger problem in the church, where instead of calling the police, instead of doing what you're supposed to do, calling CPS, your solution is like, what does the Bible say about putting cameras in a bathroom and recording someone else's wife?
Let me see your comment.
Yeah, and then I would love to read the bottom comment when you get done with that. Does anything jump out at you? Don't read the last one. That I want to read that.
Well, it's cut off anyways.
But the first part though is really good.
Okay.
So.
Okay, maybe separation. Okay, so basically, because the thing is, if they call the cops, he's going to get arrested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So she's saying maybe separation and meditation until the situation is over to protect herself and the children. Mm-hmm. So obviously, she acknowledges that this is a dangerous situation for the wife and the kids. Mm-hmm. And that this is a problem.
Mm-hmm. So when you say mediation... Oh, good. What are you going to say? Sorry.
Now, the way she says separation and mediation until the situation is over, she's not saying this, but it gives me the feeling that she's talking about not calling the cops.
Right.
like basically separate yourself from the situation. Like what that one girl was saying, if you stop talking to him about the porn addiction, then he'll stop watching the porn. But if you keep bringing it up, he's going to keep watching it because you're,
reminding him.
You're right. And so this is kind of giving me like similar vibes where she's just like, if you just let it phase out on its own, if you don't address it, if you don't talk about it, if you don't bring it up, then it'll fix itself. You can give it to God and go play some board games and do your nails. And, like this is giving me the same kind of like feeling.
Yeah.
And there's not really enough to go off of. Like it's a pretty short comment, so we can't really actually say that's what she's saying.
Right.
But it's giving the same feeling.
You know what I can promise you she is saying is just forgive him.
Yeah.
Help him dig himself out of it. Now when she says mediation, what does mediation involve? You got to get someone professional involved.
Right.
If someone professional gets involved, the therapist is
they're going to have to call the cops.
Yes. Yeah. This is a crime that is happening.
Right.
Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
And so she goes on to say this may be his rock bottom. Basically, to me, that's saying he's the victim. Mm-hmm. This is his rock. You should feel bad for him.
The devil is a liar. Yeah. The devil does not have any hold on this family.
Right.
Okay, that's what you're telling me.
That's giving me the same vibe as like...
Let's blame the devil.
Right, yeah.
The devil
his
is
rock
a liar.
bottom. He's the victim here.
Yeah.
Like...
I'm sorry. I'm really upset at you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
I'm upset at you, Anon. I think you need to also go to see therapy yourself. You need to go to mediation for yourself because you're stupid.
Yeah.
Can I read the last part, or you finish with that?
And then she finishes off with saying, and she may be able to help him out of it.
Oh, yeah.
That is
out of it.
The worst advice I have ever heard.
Are we wrong, commenters, fans, subscribers? Are we in the wrong here? Am I crazy? Am I missing something? Please tell me. So...
It's literally the stereotypical, like, you can fix him. Mm-hmm. You can save him. Not like, pray for him and let Jesus save. No, you. Mm-hmm. This is, from a Christian perspective, you cannot save anyone.
Right, it's true.
You are not your husband's savior. Mm-hmm. You are trying to replace Jesus in the aspect of saying, I can fix him.
Yeah.
I can save him. I can pull him out of this.
And back to our practical discussion about, like, can I fix or change the other person? You can't.
No.
Okay. We see with last episode, I think it was, we talked about, maybe it was the one before, we talked about, like, if he doesn't want to change, if the guy's hooked on porn, he will not change. Like, you can't fix that. So we said take a step back and, evaluate yourself. Not to, like, get over it, but to be like, just slow down for your own safety, for your own forgiveness. Slow down. Okay. That's not what this situation is.
Right.
It's like, fix it in your own head, and things will work out.
Yeah.
So, anyway. All right, let me read this bottom part. This comes from Nikki, responding to anonymous member. Licensed therapist here. No, she does not talk to him. She turns in what I'm just going to fill in the blank for you. Nikki, I love you. You're a saint.
Yeah.
She says, don't even bother talking to him because she knows. She turns in what I'm pretty sure the next word was has to the police.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, don't give him a chance to cover it up. Don't give him a chance to hide it.
That's a licensed therapist.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the mediation
in a Christian group.
Yeah.
So I would say we can go with the assumption that everybody in this group is proclaiming to be a Christian.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to join a Christian marriage advice group if they're not looking for Christian advice as a Christian, sensibly at least. So with that assumption in mind, this is a Christian licensed therapist saying no.
Yeah. I'm appalled at you, Stephanie, and Anon. I'm very disappointed in you. We've had some good content from you. You seem pretty reasonable the past couple posts, but Anon, alas, I'm disappointed in your work ethic, your mindset here. I'm very upset at you. So, anyway, what else do we have, Darci? We got another story.
So I do have another anonymous poster here.
Oh, baby. My favorite. Anon, maybe you're coming back to me with some good, not just a good story, but also, like, not a dumb question.
What if, like, the anonymous posters, like, were all of the same person?
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad.
That'd be insane.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. But this person who's had an amazing relationship for the last, like 6 years and
Yeah.
gave the cold shoulder for the first time, but
Right.
he didn't say for 3 years that y'all were married.
Yeah.
And he also like hung up cameras to watch, like it's just all the same person.
That would be mind blowing.
Yeah, I'd want to know like how.
Yeah, this whole time. What if it's like I trace Anon back to your computer, and then like no, you this whole time? I would go crazy.
It's just me trolling.
Yeah, the whole time. You're Anon?
Dude, I've thought so hard about posting some trolling things just to see how people respond.
Yeah, as long as it's not as outlandish as that section we had
Yeah.
to delete last episode, where it's like, okay, this is
Right.
clearly fake. And even on the commenters, I felt like acknowledged that everyone was like, just kidding, trust God.
Yeah.
Everyone
Just stirring like enough
Yeah.
drama for people to be like, you can fix him, sis. Or like, just some stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone fell for it, which was nice to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have any testimonies to share about God healing a marriage where the husband has been unfaithful? Have you ever heard of such a thing, Darci?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, was it somebody... Well, I guess I'll ask you this question after we get to it. So, yes, it has happened. So
Let's read the whole thing and then
We
break
will.
it down. Yeah.
we will. Okay,
Okay.
fine. Never mind that.
We will as you continue to
Yeah.
break down.
Yeah, never mind. I recently discovered my husband of 8 years has been having sex with other women our whole marriage. I've not heard God tell me to leave him. My face.
There's a lot to break down here already.
My face. All right. But right now, I'm in the waiting, wondering how I should proceed. I am pretty devastated. I am saved and in no way a lukewarm Christian. That's your first mistake right there. You probably annoyed him. It's your fault, according to all the
Yeah.
commenters, I bet. I love the Lord with all my soul and serve him daily and in all things. My husband says he's a Christian, and he truly thinks he is saved, but his actions don't show any good fruit. I love it. The religiousness is coming right through this. And if he was, why would he meet women at bars and have random hookups with them?
God.
If I were...
Sorry.
Ma'am, can I read this whole thing before we break it down? Please?
Shut up.
All right. Okay, no, here's my favorite part. If I were to take him back, I would not want to be unequally yoked. I hate those words so much. Unequally yoked. I cannot stand it. I hate it more than anything. I would love to break down why, but
That's been so abused.
let's get through this
Yeah.
post, and we're probably not going to have time to explain unequally yoked and how stupid that is. I cannot do that. He would need to be radically changed and on fire for the Lord. So this is where, that's the end of it. Here's where the unrealistic expectations comes from, to me. When they start using things like unequally yoked. So as long as I never match what perfect image you have in your head of what a godly man should look like, you will never be happy with what I do. Let's take the cheating out of it, okay? He would need to be radically changed. What does radically changed mean, ma'am? Or Anon? I'm sorry. I'm not going to assume here.
What didn't she say, husband?
Shh.
Okay.
Okay, be quiet. Don't contradict me again, woman. Let me pull up some verses on why you don't interrupt me.
Women should sit down and be quiet.
Yeah, that's one of them. Thanks. You're doing it for me. You already know the Bible. You should be like, you should know this.
I'll go take my diamond earrings out while I'm at it and cover
Yeah.
my head.
As I'm reading through this, Darci, I don't think we're equally yoked.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of you.
All right, Anon, what does radically changed mean? On fire for the Lord. What does that mean for you? Because everyone's different. So when we're talking about unrealistic expectations a few episodes ago, this is what I'm talking about. Okay?
Is her version of radically changed just not cheat?
Right.
Like,
So-
you know what I mean? Like,
So you were putting up with him, going to bars, hooking random hookups. You were putting up with all that.
It sounds like she's known about that. Like, it sounds like this is a reoccurring problem. This
Yeah.
doesn't sound like something that, like, she just found out about it.
And she puts this in her herself. I would let's see. I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry. If I were to take him back, so it's already on her mind. She already doesn't want to divorce. She already doesn't want to leave. If I were to take him back, you already are going to do it. Anon. Let me just put that in there. The fact that you put it in there and you're assuming if I were, you're already going to. So why are you even wasting your time? Why are you
She's
asking?
not done enough with.
Nope.
Him, yeah.
And apparently, 8 years. It sounds like you're gonna be doing this for a couple more years. You know,
Dude,
correct me
yeah.
if I'm wrong.
Because she said 8 years and he's been cheating their entire marriage.
Yep.
Like, oh my God.
And she starts off.
This is a serial cheater.
And she starts off as well. Does anyone have any testimonies to share about God healing a marriage where the husband has been unfaithful? In those instances where it's like the husband's been unfaithful.
It's like a time or two.
Yeah. And no, I have heard some where it's like, yeah, he was unfaithful for a while, but it was like one woman, and he was gone for a period, and then he came back. Sorry.
I have heard testimonies like that,
Yeah.
yeah, where they left the spouse for another person and then came back.
Yeah, and then there was forgiveness extended. Yeah. Okay, so it's not black and white. There's a broad spectrum. Let me get that out.
I am kind of curious though, because like I hear people tell the testimonies of like, yeah, you know, the instance I heard of specifically was a woman who left her husband and she ran off with another woman, and I guess a couple years later came back. Yeah. And now they're like having kids, yeah. But like I'm curious, like how healed is that situation? Why? Like can you actually fully heal from that? I don't know. You know, like,
I'm sure you can, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I wish I was Nikki from the last post we read, where I'm a licensed therapist. Maybe I should ask the therapist that was on our show a couple months ago. But
I just don't believe that ever fully goes away. At least in that, like if it like. What we talked about, how it's like if you have a slip up,
yeah,
where you cheated one, but like an entire relationship, like I don't see how you could ever come back from that.
But, right. Some people are just much more forgiving than you or I, because I guess I've seen it. I think only God truly can forgive and forget, whereas someone like me is a lot more cynical. It's like I can forgive,
right?
Forget. Yeah. That's a little bit beyond my pay grade.
Yeah.
But there are times I have forgiven and forgotten.
Yeah.
In relationships, not quite so much, because like
cheating's such a different thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've never been cheated on. My last girlfriend cut it close. Yeah. As far as I know, there was no overlap.
Right.
I'm not gonna put it past her, but if there was, I didn't know about it.
Right.
So.
Because like me and Paul have said, I mean, me and Paul are pretty, like, rock solid as far as our marriage, but there's been some times where he's said some really hurtful things that I've forgiven him for, but if you ask me what, I can't recall, because like I've forgiven and forgotten.
Yeah,
but like cheating's one of, like you don't forget that.
No, even if you don't remember all the intricate details, if you don't remember all he did, if you don't remember her name, but you know he cheated,
it could be 20 years later, and the second they're running 5 minutes behind, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Where is he?
But even if you don't get mad about it and start blowing up his phone, it's a thought that crosses your mind. At the very least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a passing thought, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So, yep. Let me go through this again. So, broken it down, you start off asking, anyone have any testimonies where the husband's been unfaithful but the marriage is healed? You're not going to leave. Okay, it's been 8 years you've been putting up with this. You're asking for justification as to why you should go back.
Yeah.
Okay. So you either need
You're wanting people to agree with you, make you feel better.
You either need to get used to this.
Being an asshole, as we call it.
Go ahead and explain that. I know what that is, because we know like 10 of them. But
right. So an asshole is someone that asks for advice constantly and consistently, and they will continue to ask people until they get the advice that they are wanting to hear.
Yep. And
if it even so much as barely like simulates what they're wanting, they are just boom, up and going. Yep, this is like, even if that's not what you said at all, like they will nitpick the tiniest little things and be like, yeah, like you encouraged me in this, and they'll take off with what they originally wanted to do and not listen to any other advice, no matter if there was 20,000 people, no matter if your parents and your grandparents and your best friends like are up in front, like you're just like, well, this one person, this homeless guy that I asked on the side of the road said, you know, he agrees, so I'm off and taking.
Or, you know, the waves crashed on the rocks, and that was my confirmation that God said we're supposed to be married.
Right.
And then it's like, people will just look for anything to justify what they actually want instead of what the solid advice or wisdom he gave them. Yeah.
So that's an asshole.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So you're asking here. You're not asking because I promise you a lot of these comments. Maybe I'm wrong because you saw them already. But I bet you a lot of these comments are going to be like, bro, you need to get out of here. You need to run. But that's not what you're looking for. Oh, no?
No.
Okay.
A lot of the comments I was scrolling through was like, yes, God healed my marriage of unfaithfulness. You can do it.
I've been told that, like, infidelity, your marriage has a 50-50 chance of recovering. Okay.
That's higher than I would have expected.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And that's...
I would have thought like 2080.
And that's including if both people want to work on it. Because, like, the person that's been cheated on, it's really up to them.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you have to choose to, like, okay, I'm going to have to build trust again.
Well, even... Because, like, even in a Christian marriage, biblically, that's grounds for divorce.
Sure.
You know? Like, even God.
Yeah.
Even God himself was like, this is a covenant that never gets broken. Unless. Like, it's a pretty damn serious thing.
Yeah.
Even in God's eyes.
1,000,000,000%.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit of credit. I recently discovered my husband has been having, of 8 years, has been having sex with other women our whole marriage. Okay, so give you benefit of the doubt. I'm going to pretend you didn't know this whole time, even though you probably did.
Right.
Okay. I have not heard God tell me to leave him. I'm sorry.
He shouldn't need to.
No, this is like common sense.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you stay with this person, you're choosing to let them do this over and over again. Because, you have to want to change. I don't mean you, the person that's cheating on you, your husband. They have to want to change. They have to want to rebuild what was broken. He's been doing this for 8 years.
Yeah.
If he wanted to be faithful with you, he would have came to you clean the first time, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Or at least at some point.
Yeah.
And at this point, you're, what's the word for it?
You had to discover this. He didn't tell you. You had to discover it.
What's the word for it when you are encouraging somebody's behavior but not purposely?
No. Enabling?
Yes.
Enabling.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Thank
cut
you so
everything
much.
out
That
in
would have
between.
bothered me so bad.
Yeah.
At this point, if it's been 8 years and it's been the whole marriage, at this point, you're just enabling the behavior.
100%. Okay, because again, you start off with, give me a testimony so I can stay here.
Yeah.
And then later on you say, if I were to take him back, like it's even
Right.
going to be an option.
Right.
You're asking for people to convince you to stay.
Yeah.
So quit pretending, okay? What annoys me more about assholes is that they act like you have to
They're
convince
gonna
them.
listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they act like they're going to listen. They act like they're open to wisdom. They act like they're open to advice. When actually, like we said, they're trying to wait for keywords. Or
Yeah.
they're trying to wait for somebody to tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And that bugs me more than anything is a hypocrite. And it's not,
Right.
it's a subform of hypocrisy. So
Yeah.
this annoys me. Okay. I'm in the waiting, wondering how I should proceed. No, you're not. We already know how you're
You
going to
know
proceed.
how you want to proceed.
And we know how you're going to proceed.
Right.
You can act like we're going to convince you that you're going to change your mind.
Yeah.
But let's be real. You're going to stay with him. Okay? We got time. Can we talk about unequally yoked?
Yeah.
Let's do this. All right. Unequally yoked. What does that mean, Darcy?
Actually, or the way people say it?
The way people... Okay, actually. And then we can go into what actually...
Okay.
People using it impractically.
Unequally yoked to me would be like if I'm a Christian and he's not.
Okay.
Unequal.
That's very simple.
Yep.
Very basic.
Yep.
Okay.
It's, like I'm very passionate about the Lord and he's like the basic, I go to church on Easter, Christmas, and that's about it.
Okay, so that's even more than I would have gone. I would have said, like, I'm Christian and she's Muslim. You know what I
Right.
mean? Unequally yoked, yes.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
Unequally yoked to me means that they are not encouraging you to pursue the Lord further and that you are having to drag all the weight behind you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, you can both be Christian and be unequally yoked.
Right.
As far as like he is, he's got fire insurance, pretty much is what I call it. Somebody that does just enough to be able to claim Christianity so they don't go to hell.
Yeah.
Fire insurance Christian.
Yeah.
And you actually have a relationship and a passion to pursue the Lord.
Yeah.
And that's where I would call like an actual like unequally yoked, you know?
Okay. Now, let me explain to you how people use that incorrectly. Okay.
It's been so abused.
He doesn't pray with me.
Right.
We're not equally yoked.
Yeah.
I read more chapters of the Bible than him. I read 7. He reads 5. We're not equally yoked. You know? I want to go to church every Sunday.
Right.
He wants to, he wants to go golfing. We're not equally yoked.
I want to be a martyr in China, and he wants to just pastor a church. We're unequally yoked.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Talk about unrealistic expectations. That's what unequally yoked's been used for.
Yeah.
I was talking to a guy a couple years ago, not a close friend of mine. I'd actually go as far as to say I don't like this guy. But he was telling me about this girl that he was dating, and there was an age gap. It wasn't that big. It wasn't like a 20-year age gap like I've done before. Sorry. But it was like a 7-year age gap.
Okay.
So not bad. She had a kid.
Not bad at all.
And he never had a girlfriend, so he wanted to be with somebody. Okay. And this girl, who wasn't a Christian at the time they met, recently decided that she was a Christian now. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I never met her, so I can't say whether she was or not. But she started, having only just been saved a week ago and going to church once or twice since then, she started trying to drive a wedge between them, but saying, oh, we're not equally yoked. Like, we're just like, that's the word she kept going toward. And that's what he was telling me. And I was like, dude, just break up with her. She's trying to break up with you. And, and him being a wuss, he was like, well, I don't want to be the one to make that decision. I don't want to make a decision. I want her to tell me. And it's like, dude, you have no self-respect.
Yeah.
You need to be like, okay, if you're not gonna want to be with me, then bye.
So I think a really good example of how people take this out of in a abusing the word equally yoked. Okay, me and Paul.
Yeah.
I think we consistently push each other to lean more into Jesus in different ways.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes the way we need, maybe sometimes the way we don't. But, we're constantly pursuing to better ourselves, better each other, get closer to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I feel like someone that's trying to abuse it, let's say if Paul was taking advantage of this word unequally yoked.
Yeah.
I feel like he could between us because I have a past and he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So someone that's taking advantage and abusing this word would be like, well, she did drugs and she, has this huge extensive history.
Yeah.
She prostituted herself. I've been a good Christian my whole life. We are so unequally yoked.
Right.
And you maybe even could say that could be semi-fair in some people's heads, but we're not unequally yoked.
Well, that and if the fact that you guys do build each other up, y'all do draw each other closer to the Lord, proves that just because y'all have different pasts, that doesn't mean anything.
Right. Right.
It's probably why y'all work so well together.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But somebody that wants to throw that word around like that, you could easily say me and my husband are unequally yoked because we have very, very different backgrounds, very different emotions,
and very different ways of handling things.
Yeah.
Things that are happening
so.
today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not things from years ago.
Right.
Oh, I would have handled that differently.
Yeah.
Things that y'all go through today on a daily basis.
Right.
Y'all are very different still.
Yeah.
Unequally yoked. Oh my God. We're unequally yoked.
Right.
And
that's how I feel like somebody like this would describe our marriage, would be unequally yoked, even though I don't agree with that at all.
At all.
I think we're perfect for each other.
Yeah. I wouldn't even agree 1%.
Right.
0.5%. All right. So Jaron asked a good question here in the comments. The whole 8 years and you are pretty devastated? So thank you, Jaron. That's a good point to bring up. Okay, so Jaren calls Anon out on her BS right out the gate. Comes out swinging. Jaren, you're my hero. If you're listening, give us a sub, and I want you on the show. All right? I don't care.
We'll fly you out.
Yeah, I'll have you call in. I don't care. Let's do it. Okay, so Anon responds to Jaren, and it's wonderful. What are you trying to say? Yes, I'm beyond devastated, and my body has been in shock, and I'm experiencing trauma. Oh, I love it when women throw trauma in there. Just throw the word trauma around. You know who you are. You don't have to comment if you're not going to be in the right spirit.
Oh, God.
Oh. Thank you, Anon. So, Jaren comes in with some common sense. Anon comes in with more religious babble.
Yeah.
Okay? Jaren responds to Anon, now you're displaying what I would expect that I would display. I wasn't making light of it. Your situation is terrible. Send him to his vices. When the children are older and begin to ask questions, tell them the story. Jaren, you had me up until you said that. Okay. Let the children grow up. Let them make their own decisions. Okay? When children don't need to have their childhood ruined by what the drama between mom and dad.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't need to be filling their head with dad did this, dad did that, turning the kids against each other because they're going to grow up hating one or the other, or both of you. Okay? So, no. When the children are older, you let them make their own decision. And I promise you, if your actions are as righteous as you're claiming they are, if your actions are reflective of your true character, and his actions are reflective of his true character, the kids will see it, and they'll be able to come to that conclusion on their own. I wish my dad didn't talk trash about my mom when I was growing up. Yeah. Because I would have been more inclined to have a relationship with him had I been able to grow up with them getting along. Yeah, getting along. Yeah. Okay, when I grew up and I saw how bad dad was and how bad he talked to mom, guess who I don't talk to anymore, and guess who I have a healthy relationship with. Right. So
let's read the final comment before we run out of time.
Do we have to?
I guess not.
Hold on.
So you're the one that's picky about going over an hour, so
I think we can get this done.
Okay.
When the children are older and begin to ask questions, tell them the story. Take all you can from him. Get all the child support you can from him. Because he owes it to the children. You wanted me to skip these comments. This is perfect. All right.
So, you're the one that's weird about the hour mark.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I have a healthy respect for the hour mark of our audience's time. Okay. I will truck through this. We got 3 minutes, though. Jaren says, Anon, I shortened my whole thing. I typed because I want to get to the point and ask my question. No one needs to know the exact horror and pain I'm going through. I could have sat there and typed out my whole life story, but there's no point. God sees my heart. We don't have children. Thank God. The kids don't need to grow up.
They don't have children?
That's what Anon says.
I don't know why I thought they did have children.
Am I crazy? Do I have to go back real quick? Because I'm with you. I thought there would have been kids.
Right. Well, 8 years and no kids?
Yeah. Hey,
that's pretty crazy.
You know what, Anon? I didn't give you enough credit.
At least you didn't.
There was a story before, though, that we went through.
Okay.
Where
yeah, maybe I'm crossing some storylines here.
That's the problem with shooting 3 episodes back to back. The wires get crossed. Jaren says, hey, no problem, kiddo. You're going through a guy-wrenching, life-questioning... I think I meant to say gut-wrenching. You're going through a gut-wrenching, life-questioning, and life-changing... and terrible event, for sure. You need to vent somehow, somewhere, to someone. Anon says, okay, Jaren, thanks for your input. God bless.
I feel like that was like the version like, oh, bless your heart.
I feel like the whole thread was a waste of time. We spent like 10 minutes on it. All right, the comment you really wanted to talk about. All right. NDI, that's the name. Nadi, listen to God. He might reveal, period, to you what you never know. He revealed to me that my husband's insecurities about himself was the reason he found solace in cheating.
If we go too far over, we could just cut that thread out and focus on this.
No, I say we can go over for this one. Okay. I prayed for him to find something that will make him feel meaningful. And though you cannot know all the walks and thinking of man, I see a huge change in my husband. And I can even feel he doesn't move with that spirit anymore. So instead of asking for someone to change, ask God to make you understand and see what is not seen. He will reveal to you your prayer points. The hell's a prayer point? I'm sorry, what the heck is a prayer point?
What the heavens?
What the dickens?
Oh my goodness. Could I just say,
yes, please.
I wish so badly, whenever I was like in my drug addiction, everything, a majority of the reason I stayed there was because I didn't fit in with Christians, because they were the holier than thou.
Yeah.
Good evening, my brothers and sisters in Christ, Christians, and there was no authenticity with a lot of people. And can I tell you how badly I would have desired to be able to listen to a podcast like this of people that are Christianly ground, Christianly sound, but are like genuine, down to earth, like people. Not these like holier than thou,
right?
You know,
practical,
right, like practical people.
I'm not. You're never gonna hear me on this podcast say, "Did you pray about it?"
Right.
Okay. Anon. listen, did you read your Bible?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. According to Ephesians, honor thy husband.
So, Nadie, I have a question. You're saying, listen to God. He revealed to you that your husband's insecurities were the reason he found solace in cheating. Okay? That's what you're telling me? Your husband didn't come to that conclusion and tell you? You didn't discover it through group therapy? I prayed for him to find something that will make him feel meaningful. Though you cannot know all the walks in thinking of man, I see a huge change in my husband. So does he come home to you sad and then leave and then come back happy? Is that what you mean? Okay. Once he's found solace in something that brings him comfort and joy, another woman's arms.
For his insecurities.
Yeah, another woman's arms. You mean? Okay. Are you that stupid?
I'm seeing such a pattern of people being like, don't confront it, just let it play the course.
I can even feel he doesn't move with that spirit anymore. You feel that? I'll tell you what he's feeling. Ask God. Yeah, you know what, Anon? Niddy's right. Ask God to make you understand, change your heart. You know, a couple episodes we got some good advice. Play a board game, do your nails. Okay, ask God to help you understand.
I feel like we're always going to bring that up.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's a good stopping point. What do you think, Darcy?
God.
We could go on all day, all night,
could.
but alas, I
That
think...
is so insane to me. He revealed to me that my husband's insecurities about himself was the reason he found solace in cheating.
Maybe I should give that a try.
Maybe that's what we're doing wrong here.
Yeah, maybe that's why I'm still single, because I find solace in being faithful. Wrong.
Oh my goodness, people are crazy.
Yep.
That's.
Thank you. I think Nadie, you and your husband aren't equally yoked. So, with that, we need to call it quits. It's gonna be a long episode. All right, guys. I hope you all had fun today. I think this was a better episode than I thought it was gonna be.
Wow.
I know. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Wow. All right, guys.
Wow.
Y'all have a great rest of your week.
No, it was like the guy in Mercy Culture.
Yeah. That's not the church we go to. Just kidding. Beep.
That's the guy in
Culture. Yeah.
But
Right.
anytime the pastor said a point, he was just sitting there in the front row going, wow.
I have not been listening that hard. I don't know.
Dude, it's funny. He does it so much.
I hate it when people point out stuff that I can't unhear or unsee. So, yeah. All right. That's it. Let's cut off before we go another hour in.
One more thing. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for real. All right, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your night, because we definitely film this at night. See y'all next time.
Oh, yeah. See you guys.
Bye.